Okay, I know there's a lot of seriousness going on in the world right now, and we all need to be a little cautious. I get it, okay? But yesterday I was at Costco, and to see these fucking people running around like a bunch of lost, fucking scared children, hoarding all the toilet paper and paper, I'm like, you know, just when you think there's hope, you see people like this, and I'm pointing right at you people, because you know who you fucking are. I mean, these idiots that are taking all the fucking toilet paper and paper towel, and you know, I don't want to dwell on this, but I mean, this is all the toilet paper I own. This is all the paper towel I own. That's it. Yet, you know, there's going to be elderly people and you know, like people with disabilities who need this stuff, who really can't even go out a lot of the time, and they're going to go out to get some supplies, and there's not going to be any there because of all the fucking idiots who are buying it all up. So I just wanted to say that if any of you are watching this video, you should be ashamed of yourself, because it's absolutely moronic what you fucking bozos are doing. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Okay, so I just had to get that off my chest. It's driving me nuts, and I just can't believe how stupid some people are. But anyways, okay, so we are talking about a movie which actually kind of, you know, I guess goes along with what's happening. It's the movie Only. It just came out, and basically, I mean, a quick synopsis. After a comet releases a mysterious virus that begins to kill all the women in the world, a young couple hide out in their over-sterilized apartment trying to fight for their lives. And that's this story. You know what I mean? There's this comet that flies over, it drops this ash, and like literally within months, pretty much all the women die because of this virus that they can't seem to fight against. And we are introduced to our characters in the first act. Frida Pinto plays Eva, oddly enough, you know, Adam and Eve. And then Leslie Odom Jr. plays Will, and their boyfriend and girlfriend. And I mean, I got to say right off the hop, I mean, if this whole virus thing wasn't happening, I mean, this movie probably wouldn't have had the same effect on me that it did. And again, it didn't really, you know, hit me in the feels or anything. But I just mean, with everything that's going on now and the way the news and everything's trying to scare you and put all this fear into you, and then you watch a movie like this and you think, wow, you know, like, I don't know. I'm just saying this, and I hope it doesn't come out wrong, but I mean, I'm sure they had no idea, but I mean, they released this movie at the right time because this is very relevant. But yeah, that's what this movie is. It's just a movie of these two trying to survive. I mean, the first act basically takes place in their apartment, and throughout the entire movie, you're given flashbacks to kind of fill you in on, you know, how this all came to be. And so I mean, first act, we're introduced to our two main characters in their apartment. Kind of, we pick up kind of midway through. Actually, I think the opening scene starts where the military comes, because they're checking houses to see if there's any women there, right? And Eva and Will have created this hiding spot under the one bed, so she hides so the military doesn't take her. Now, they don't say they're coming, you know, with bad intentions. It's just that with all the women in the world dying, they're trying to find women that have survived this virus so they can quarantine them to try and make a vaccine or whatever. But whenever the military is involved, you never know if it's good or bad intentions, right? But they hide out anyways, or she does. But I think at the end of this visit from the military, the one officer, I think, realizes that there is a woman in the apartment, but he says something to him, and it's been a couple days since I've seen this movie, but I think he says something, you know, enjoy your time together, and we'll be back in a day or two. So I think that was a sign from the officer, you know, who was being kind of cool about it, saying, listen, you got to get the fuck out of here, because, you know, we're going to come back and take your girlfriend if she's here, right? So anyways, and that's what the second act is them kind of packing up and leaving. And they do make some silly decisions along the way. I mean, yes, I understand you want to live your life, okay, but she's a woman, and like they actually, the government has put this price out. I think it's $1 million if you bring your your wife or whatever into these quarantine areas, you know what I mean, so that they can have them, so they can hopefully find a cure or whatever. But it seems, I don't know, it's sketchy. Do you know what I mean, at best? And they don't want any part of it. And honestly, I can't say I blame them. You know what I mean? But second act is they go out, they get some supplies from a grocery store, which is abandoned, but it's still open for business because the men are still alive, right? So, but they go in, and you can see it in the trailer. The one clerk there takes her toque off and kind of exposes her, but they're the only two people in this shopping center at the time, so they get out. And then they make another dumb decision too, which and again, I get it. I mean, she's kind of dressed up as a man, and she wraps her breasts up and stuff. I mean, mind you, like a heavy coat would have hidden that, but she's so beautiful. Frida Pinto, it's like you can't hide her beauty and her feminine features. So the whole time they're in this cafe eating, which is full of men, and everybody's looking at her thinking that's got to be a woman because she's got sunglasses on and a toque. But I'm thinking, there's no way you can hide that this is not a woman. And I'm like, why would you even risk that, knowing that people would probably try and kidnap her? And again, I know it's a movie and it's meant to build tension, because there's really not a ton of tension in this movie. It's more or less, I wouldn't call it boring. If this movie was released any other time when there wasn't like an actual virus outbreak going on, it probably wouldn't have the same effect. But again, I mean, like the tension is there because all these guys are thinking that this might be a woman, and there's $1 million out if you bring any women into these quarantine areas, you know what I mean, for studies. So it's a couple bad decisions that they make, and then the third act is more or less them kind of trying to escape into the woods, and they want to hold out there, and hopefully this thing blows over. But then Ava's not immune to this, you know what I mean, because she does start to get sick. It's just a really slow process because most of the women are passing away, within the first few months of this comet. And I think in the first act, the movie picks up, I think it's day 400 is when it picks up. So she's made it almost just over a year, but she does very slowly start to show signs of, her blood comes out of her ears, and some other signs too. So she is slowly dying, which is sad in itself, but it's really slowed down as opposed to some women who are gone, within the first couple of days of this actually happening. So I don't know. I did like this movie. I really did. I don't think it would have had as much impact on me if I'd seen it at a different time. You know what I mean? But with what's going on around the world right now, it just kind of hits you a little bit harder. So, I mean, if you just look at it as a movie, you know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? But I don't know. To give it a rating, I'd probably give it like a 5.5, maybe a 6. Again, this isn't an action movie. It's more or less these two people. It's just the three acts of the different stages, house, out in the public, and then escaping into the forest to try and survive. That's the three acts. And then there's a whole bunch of flashbacks thrown in there to kind of fill you in on how it all happens. So, I mean, it's directed well. I mean, the acting is fucking awesome. I mean, these two, there's a lot of people in this movie too. Actually, it was funny. Chandler Riggs is in this too. He plays Casey. He's one of the guys with his dad that try and kidnap Eva so they can get the money. But he's really grown up. You're so used to seeing him as this little kid on The Walking Dead. But it took me a few minutes. I thought, fuck, I know that face. And then I looked him up and I go, oh shit. So I don't know if this is his first movie back after leaving The Walking Dead. I'm not sure, but he's not in it for very much, and he really doesn't say anything. But he is in this movie for any Walking Dead fans. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I would say check this movie out. It's definitely worth a watch. It's not like the Dustin Hoffman movie. I think it was called Outbreak, and there's been some other viral outbreak movies. It's certainly not like 28 days later or 28 weeks or something like that, where it's like just go go go. That movie's not like this. It's more of a drama with a few scenes, of action and bad decisions. But for the most part, it's just a slow-paced kind of telling of what these two people go through to kind of keep. And it also asks the question too, at what point, you know, does it become too much, because Will is going above and beyond trying to keep Eva safe, and at one point she gets tired of it and calls the house a prison, which in actuality, I guess if you look at it, it could be, but I mean his intention is just good, like he's trying to look after her. But I mean you could also see it as maybe he's being selfish. You know what I mean? Like maybe she wants to go out, and if she dies, she dies. It's her choice, but he's kind of, you know, being selfish and just keeping her to himself. I mean, there's many different ways you can look at this. So anyways, give it a watch. If you've seen it, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't, go rent it, $5. You know what I mean? It's out video on demand now. Come back and let me know what you think of it and what your opinion is on it. And again, guys, stay scared. And to all the fucking idiots out there hoarding all the toilet paper, please stop fucking doing it. I mean, there's other people out there that need to look after themselves. So anyways, guys, just make sure you take your vitamins, your vitamin C's, your vitamin D's to kind of boost up your immune system. You know, wash your hands, make smart decisions, and let's all stay safe and help each other get through this thing. So yeah, guys, until next time, stay safe.